Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Join hosts Dan Melnick and Qasim Masood as they explore big ideas, limitless possibilities, and engage with visionaries, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders who dare to dream big, get inspired, motivated, and find practical tips for personal growth. Think big, dream bigger, and ignite your potential.
Welcome to the Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Today, our guest is DanJeff Kretchmar. Jeff, how are you doing today?
Great, Qasim. Thank you for inviting me on the show.
It's our pleasure. So let me know what you do and where you live.
Yeah, so I am the CEO for OmegaBall as one of my jobs. So we can dive into that a little bit more. But I'm here in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And our company, OmegaBall, is based out of San Diego, California, where the other three co-founders live up and down the coast of California, from LA down to San Diego.
Awesome. So let us know what inspired you to start this business.
Yeah, absolutely. So this was probably during COVID, probably around 2020. Anthony Dittman, one of the other co-founders, at the time, I did not know him. He came to a gentleman that's been my boss for about 2 decades, and they were friends from long time ago. They worked together at ESPN, X Games, and known each other for a very long time. And he came and sat down and he said, "Hey, I have an idea, for a American football, kind of programming project." And at the time, the company that I worked for here in Oklahoma City, we owned a USL Championship soccer team, and the gentleman that owns that club, he kind of turned around and he was like, "Look, soccer, football is the sport of the future. American football is big. It's always going to be big, but soccer is really the thing." And so Anthony went back to the drawing board and kind of drew up this OmegaBall, kind of thought about, what do I not like about soccer? And, what do I like about sports? And kind of put all these things together, and he called me up and he said, "Hey, can I come back to Oklahoma City and can I run a test match?" I said, "Absolutely. Come on out. We've got a team full of professional players. Come out and we'll just talk through it." I've worked in sports for 24 years now. At the time, about 20 years, and so yeah, let's work through it. Let's see what we got here, right? And so that's kind of where we landed with it. As he came out, and we put on this test match, and the field was had some odd angles to it, and it was a little too big, and there's a few too many players on the field. And we sat down with the team, with the guys that played the game, and we said, "Hey, what did you like? What did you not like?" And then we took that feedback and we turned it together collectively. We turned it into this thing called OmegaBall. So now we have this perfectly round field that takes up half of a soccer pitch, so you can fit 2 of them on one soccer field, and you can play. It's OmegaBall. It's 5v5v5. It's 3 teams, 3 goals, 1 ball. It is very fast paced. We play 3 periods of 13 minutes apiece. It's made for TV, right? So one game fits in a 1-hour TV time block, and so it's just been this very exciting thing. And what really got me into it was when we had them out for this test match, and we're sitting down, we're thinking, okay, how often do you create a new sport? Well, you don't. That just doesn't happen that often. Some things pop up here and there, and things happen. Even pickleball, was invented in the 70s and took, another, 40 years to take off. So it just doesn't happen that often. And we said, okay, well, how can we buck that trend? How can we beat those odds? And so we sat down and we spent a couple of years kind of getting our ducks in a row, and getting our licensing under control, and really going out and getting our global trademarks. 2022, we sat down and said, okay, let's just do an event. We're going to put it on an event. Got picked up on FS2 on Fox Sports. I think our original airing and agreement, I think we were going to re-air, 4 times. I don't remember the exact number. It ended up re-airing over 100 times throughout the course of 2022. We had some events then get picked up by ESPN Ocho for the Ocho Day that have been re-aired countless times in 2023, 2024. And so we've just kind of hit this little niche, and it's just been really exciting to do something that's new, that's rooted in something that's traditional. So we're not trying to teach people new skills. We're trying to people to think differently about something and have a lot of fun doing it. And that's really great because they get to continue to work on their core skills of, soccer and football. So that part of it's been really exciting for us.
Awesome. So whenever we are starting a new business, obviously we are always excited to start a new business. And at the same time, we always have to face a lot of challenges. I can give you an example of my own business. When I started my business in 2016, back in 2016, At that time, like obviously, I was full of energy. I was really energetic. At that time, when I started the business, it looks like every challenge is for me. Everything is coming towards me just to maybe ruin my business, just to maybe exhaust my nerves. So, like, there were a lot of things coming towards me that I wasn't able to handle. But eventually, yeah, I met the flow and I started coping up with the situations. But how was in your case when you started your business? What was the scenario at that time, and what challenges you were facing?
Yeah, well, we're every day is a challenge, right? We're a bootstrap startup with limited capital resources, and so we're out there and we're fighting it every day. There's four of us that are the kind of the main co-founders. All four of us have other full-time jobs. We haven't been able to quite make that switch over yet, and so we're doing a lot of things that take up little bits and pieces of time here. What's great though is other three founders, the guys that I work with every day on this to really start growing it, are phenomenal human beings, and I really enjoy every conversation I get to have with them. The good conversations, the positive conversations, the negative conversations, the challenging growth conversations. Those are the ones that I can sit back and look at and say, look, today was a good day because we're moving forward and we're getting things done. We all kind of have our different niches. I come from a soccer background, which helps. Anthony runs a large event production company. So event production is taken care of. One of the gentlemen is an attorney. One of them is a sports and marketing. And so we all kind of have our own little niche. And so we don't have to focus on everything because we have a lot of trust with one another to focus on their individual components so that we can continue to roll the ball in the game forward.
So I believe, like, obviously I'm not sure how the pickleball is going on, but I believe when pickleball started, like, in fact you cannot start it. In fact, you can say when it got a boom at that time, there were a lot of negative thoughts as well at that time. Like, maybe this is not a real athlete's game. This is something else. This is for only rich people. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you have faced anything like that or not.
Yeah, so we had coming from a soccer background, I had a little bit of fear, right? That the traditional soccer world wouldn't accept us. It's not the beautiful game and it's a very natural state. And so I kind of had a little bit of, hey, we're going to get some pushback here. We're going to get some pushback. And oddly enough, they've been the first ones to really embrace us. So we've been on television, we've been global, and some of the first people that started reaching out. So first licensing agreement we did was in Uruguay, which is a very traditional soccer nation. Second licensing agreement is in Spain. Third, Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean islands. We've had the game played in Australia to Brazil to Argentina and Africa, you name it. There are people that are picking up, their soccer ball and they're playing OmegaBall. And so that's really been encouraging for us to say, hey, this really does have potential, right? And I think one of the big pieces of that goes back to what I said earlier. It's probably the only sport that ever really started by using professional athletes to say what works and what doesn't work, right? Like let's build something that is something that can be played by a 10-year-old and they can have a lot of fun, and something that a professional athlete can play and say that was challenging and a lot of fun, right? Because we want to keep bringing that fun back into it. It's high energy, it's high scoring, it's high action. Generally speaking, that's a fun thing to do when you're playing sports.
Awesome. So, in terms of a typical business, if we talk about a typical business, every business has their own competitors. I'm not sure about the competitors in your field, but I believe there must be. So, what is the thing that differentiates you from your competitors?
Yeah, so when we look at emerging sports is really what we're talking about when we talk about competitors. Because right now, that's our big push is fundraising. So we're out there, we're seeking a capital injection for these tournaments and events we're putting on so that we can start leagues out of this. So emerging sports is really our competitor, the pickleballs of the world, and these other things. And I think our competitive edge, our difference is that there's no specialty equipment, right? I don't need you to go buy this ball or this goal or this. These things all exist, right? We have a very low barrier of entry. You need a fairly flat piece of ground. You can make an OmegaBall field with a string and some paint. This doesn't take any specialized, it's not hard to go out and draw a field out there. You need a couple of goals, you need 3 goals, and you need a ball, and 14 of your closest friends. It takes 15 people to go out there and play, less than playing a regular soccer match, right? And so for us, we see ourselves as being a very low barrier of entry into the game, especially here, in the United States. There's a lot of push to build soccer specific stadiums right now. You have a lot of baseball stadiums across the country. You have a lot of football stadiums. They're not all active. They're not all active every day of the year. And so what we really offer the opportunity is for us to be able to come and fill in spaces. We can be programming and additive programming throughout the year at existing facilities. I don't need you to transform your tennis court into a pickleball court. I don't need you to build a cage around, this for paddle. I don't need you to, there's all these things I don't need you to do. I just need you to buy into what the game is. And so far we've been getting pretty good traction with that. So it's just, it's a startup and you also need a little dash of lightning in there, right?
Yeah, exactly. All right. So this is 2024 going on, and in fact, Q4 of 2024 is going on. So what do you think? What are your immediate plans, or maybe you can say short-term plans within this year, like that you are looking to achieve?
Yeah. So about 2 months ago, we were on ESPN Ocho again. And so we're going into Q4 December. We're having a large soccer tournament in San Diego, California. There will be $40,000 prize purse handed out equally between a men's and a women's division. So $15,000 to each division winner, and then $5,000 to each division second runner up. We're using that to work with a very large production company. I can't quite say the name of it yet. We're working on the contract details, but the goal is to get this out there and be televised event. And that's really the plan to roll into 2025, is to do 4 to 6 more of these types of prize money tournaments across the country and really start to bring some attention in. We've already got guarantees from our partner in Spain that they're going to send teams over to play in at least one of them. So we're taking, this local thing and making it what it really is an international sport. And then that is really our jumping pad into franchising leagues and teams as we continue to move forward into 2026, which, if you're a soccer fan at all, is World Cup season here in the United States. So we're hoping to jump and use that as a little bit of our own springboard at the same time.
All right. So to achieve all these things, what you are relying on, word of mouth, PR, or maybe you have some good marketing plan in place?
Yeah, it's a little bit of all of it with a dash of luck, I think. We're really relying on so far, we haven't spent a single dollar on marketing, and we've been able to play this game internationally. And what we do is we spend our money on high quality production, and we get that high quality production out there. And I think if people see a quality product that's engaging, that's entertaining, then they want to connect with it. And that's kind of where we are today. Now, we're going to have to spend marketing dollars at some point, and then we'll get there. But as of today, what we're really trying to accomplish is let's build really good events. Let's create things that people want to go to, things that people want to watch. Let's create entertaining moments. And that's our marketing plan right now. And so we'll push up on public relations and PR a little bit off of that. But we really believe that if we can continue to do what we're doing, then we have a path forward.
So production is a major thing in your case. So in this case, how you are ensuring the high quality production and like high quality results?
Yeah, so I think that's part of our background and history. I mean, between the co-founders, we have over 100 years of experience in sports and events, and we're really relying on what we have done our entire lives and careers to be able to produce good quality events. So it's everything from making sure that we have the right television production down to the smallest detail of what the field looks like, and making sure we're just really putting on a high quality, entertaining event. And then going back and making sure we have good partners that can cut that into Reels and TikToks and everything else, because that's really, that social media gets it out there for everybody to see. And, with OmegaBall in our sport, we're averaging just over 22 goals scored per match. That's, 50 plus shots on goal. all crammed into 3 13-minute periods. So it's a lot of opportunity for shorts and for little bite-sized pieces for media. And so, that's really what we're relying on. But that comes back to the quality, right? If we got low quality, low production, it doesn't matter how fun it is. People are going to see that. So we want to raise the bar and say, okay, this is the level and the expectation, and that's what we're going to be at.
All right, and you're gonna meet all those expectations. Awesome. So my question might be a silly question, but what is the role of technology in your business? Because I know every business is utilizing the technology at its extent, but like how you are utilizing the technology.
Yeah, I think we're growing with it, right? Because we're really new. So obviously, sports technology has blown up in the last 5 years with every wearable and sensor and AI tracking and everything that can happen. And the difference that we're seeing right now is that's all built for two teams. There's whether it's baseball, basketball, hockey, soccer, it doesn't matter. There's two teams. And so we're expanding beyond that and saying, okay, what does that look like from a strategy? How can we use AI to help us define what the strategy in a 3-team game is? How can we use AI? I mean, even setting up tournaments. I mean, we set up a tournament, where every team gets a minimum number of games, and we're trying to figure out how does that all work because it's an odd number of teams. I mean, I'm using ChatGPT to figure that out, right? Like let's save ourselves a lot of time and energy here, and use the technology that's available to us when we do that. But there's a lot of things that we can do because we are the organizing body for our sport. So there's a lot of rules in sport on, how you do drones and cameras and wearables and all these different things. And the great thing about us is we are our own organizing body. And so we have an opportunity to say, well, let's try new stuff. You have a new tech, bring it to our door, and then we'll be guinea pigs for it. Let's try it. Let's see how it works. Let's see how it impacts the sport, and we can be really good partners in that sport space because we're willing to try new things and we're a little bit different and we like things that are a little bit different. So let's find those things together. So we are all about tech in the future and figuring out, what the next big thing is going to be.
Yeah, I believe what sports is a really untapped market in this case in terms of technology.
For sure.
So, yeah.
Sure, because it's so rooted in tradition, right? People don't want to see things necessarily change. So they change very slowly and very minimally over time, and that's where we can really come in. The last event we did, we had these little tiny drones that actually kind of flew right at the hills of the players, and they're not going to allow that in a big FIFA match, right? So, and I understand rightfully so, but this is an opportunity where we can be the proving ground for that. Let's prove that it's safe. Let's prove that it's effective. Let's give people shots and angles and things that they want on the camera screens. Let's give the players the data and the information they want from the wearables. Let's just create something that is beneficial to both the user, the player, and then the viewer, right? And the actual customer base. So I think we can appeal to everybody in that sense.
I think you are giving opportunities to new startups. You are exposing the ideas.
For sure, absolutely. That's we're going out and we're building our own databases. Again, it's that 3C. You go look at a scoreboard. There's not a home and away and that's it. There's no third opportunity out there. So we're 86 and getting rid of the old scoreboard ideas, and let's bring in full video boards and just the idea that it's in a circle, right? I mean, most games are linear. They're back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We're dynamic. It's a dynamic sport. It doesn't go back and forth. Okay, great. What else can we do with that, right? How else can we create data sets out of that? How else can we, there's things that I don't even know. Somebody's working on something right now in the year I'm going to see and go, oh my gosh, we need to try that. We need to try that with our guys, and our women that play. And, let's really dive into what this looks like.
All right. Yeah, I think there's a lot because again, all these things are very dynamic. So I'm not sure. In fact, I was going to ask your long-term goals for next 4 or 5 years, but I think there are a lot of things that may change time to time, and probably you might have to do some hit and trial as well. I'm not sure how it may work, but do you have anything like that you are going to do for sure in next 3, 4 years or 5 years?
Yeah, I mean, expanding these tournaments that we're doing is something that's definitely happening. We already have commitments from partners internationally to bring teams over for 2026 to play. Obviously, we're nowhere near World Cup size. We're a small startup, but that doesn't mean that we can't have our own little international tournament, right? And so we want to be able to do that. That's something that's enticed our partners. Their players want to have a path up, we want to create that. And so really what's coming out of that long term for us is, an organized league structure. So, that there will be a team in San Diego and a team in Florida and a team in, wherever, right? And we already had some interest in that, but we're too young for that right now. We need to build out that model a little bit more before we can, go out there and start taking people's money for that, right? But the opportunity exists and it's there, and that's really the next 4 to 5 years for us. That, and we're still, every day is a new conversation with somebody in a different country that really wants to license the product, which is how we're handling it internationally. And we've really found some great partners, and so we're just going to continue to run that route and grow the game internationally.
Awesome. Jeff, I really enjoyed this conversation. So at the end, will you please give us a biggest piece of advice? In fact, you can give this advice to other entrepreneurs and the ones who are planning to be their own boss.
Yeah, I don't know that I have good advice. I like to, what I always try to remind people is that you don't have to know everything. There's a lot of smart people in the world, and we need to find them and create good partnerships and lean on them. And you just can't be afraid to take that next step. Don't wait till you have 100% of the information or knowledge base. You never will. Once you hit that 75% mark, you're probably close enough, and you should just take the leap of faith and go for it.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeff. So at the end, if you would like to share where our viewers can reach you, if you want to share any social media handle or email or whatever you want to share, or even the website.
Absolutely. OmegaBall.com. Anybody could message me anytime, Jeff K at OmegaBall.com. I'm also on the website. That we're here to be a resource from everything from youth sports through professional ranks. And, we're just excited to be able to be out there talking about what we're trying to grow. So I appreciate the opportunity, Qasim.
Thank you. Likewise. So nice of you, Jeff. I really enjoyed the conversation, and best of luck for your business. And thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.